What is up?
Hi, what is welcome to the Ellis JK Rolling Podcast.
Welcome Joey, welcome Zane. How's everyone doing? What up, you guys? Let's show you our pretty faces.
Hi.
3, 2, 1. What up? Holla.
Holla.
Dollar make you holla, honey boo boo child.
Oh my goodness gracious. And I think that is enough for this week. Thank you
that
so much
is
for
the
tuning in.
live stream for the day.
Yeah,
Thank you so much.
I am enough. That is enough living for today. I'm going to go to sleep.
So unfortunately, we started late, which means that we're starting our dinner late. So you're going to have to hear Num Num the whole time.
Not for me. I had a meal replacement smoothie from the
My
Smoothie
butt
King.
you did, dog.
It was good, and I still feel it. It was good.
Dude,
Banana boat.
I wanted that. I didn't want the
Blueberry heaven.
I didn't want a smoothie, but you made me get a smoothie.
You did not. I didn't make you do a single thing you didn't want to already do.
I didn't want to be the only one without a smoothie.
So I coerced you without having to coerce you?
Yeah.
Man, I'm good.
Yep.
All right. So, as for our weekly tradition, we always have a soda that we drink.
Yes.
Kind of like unique soda-ish. So this week we have what we like to call Sprite Cherry.
Yeah, it's what Sprite likes to call it too.
Yeah, and what people like, if that can read, like to call it. So, we have some gaming, comic, and movie news this week, and when we crack this baby open, we are going to go ahead and get started with it. So, let's get this party started. So, 3, 2, 1, and that's what I'm talking about. All right, so first things first, Dylan.
What up?
Nintendo is kicking people off some servers, man.
I don't want to be this guy. You always do this. You always open the soda and then start talking without trying the soda.
Oh.
We got to try the soda.
We got to try the soda first. One of these days, we've been doing this for like 3 months now.
It's not bad. I mean, I wouldn't drink it on my own.
Do you drink it with someone?
I wouldn't go out of my way to drink it. It kind of tastes like really cold, sparkling water. Really bubbly water.
Where's the cherry?
Yeah, where's the cherry?
Oh, wait, there it is.
Oh, there it is.
I found it. It's right over there. No, you looked, you idiot. Fool. No, no, this is weird.
I'm on the Dylan cam right now, so stop.
I beat you up.
Okay.
Oh, okay. As I was saying, Nintendo kicked some people in their rear ends.
So Nintendo, and I really don't know what the people were expecting. So Nintendo started banning people who hack their Switch. And now the reaction of the people who got hacked are, that's ridiculous.
They shouldn't do that. I bought a Switch.
I'm like, dog, y'all straight up hacked a Switch. Well, they did it kind of for a stupid reason. They did it to get more emulators. So, like, if they wanted to play kind of a retro game or like an arcade Nintendo game, they're like, let's jailbreak the Switch so we can get that.
Right.
Why?
Yeah.
So
yeah,
Nintendo started cracking down on that, which I applaud them for.
Yeah.
So, and I have more Switch news I forgot to put down in our trajectory. I don't know what word I just said. But Nintendo Switch also, if you live in Japan, which I don't.
Last I checked.
Yeah, last I checked, I don't live in Japan. But in Japan, you can finally buy a Nintendo Switch without the dock. The dock is the thing that you put on the TV.
Yeah.
How it makes it goes on the TV. The dock is a piece of plastic with a USB-C port and an HDMI port inside of it, and that is all.
Wait, that's it?
And it charges you $99 if you like lose your port or you want another port. You have to pay. I think it's like $89 or $99.
That's ridiculous.
So Nintendo came out and they're like, "Hey, here's one without the port, or the dock. Sorry, the dock.
Right.
For $250."
But,
and I'm like, okay, but the catch is it doesn't come with the charger.
Oh, that's rude. Wait, then what's the point?
So thanks, Nintendo.
That was the point.
Thanks, Nintendo.
Come on.
So
they know what they're doing.
They know exactly what they're doing.
They gotta know what they're doing.
Because they did that with the 3DS. If you bought a 3DS, you didn't get the charger with it.
You had to buy the charger separately. God, man.
And it wasn't just like a standard micro USB, just like one of these. You had to like buy a actual Nintendo charger.
That's sleazy.
It's sleazy AF. And the thing is when I worked at Target, well, I still do, but when the 3DS was huge, we never had the charger in stock.
Interesting.
But that's all I have from Nintendo.
That's supply and demand.
I guess, but like no demand or no supply.
No supply, all demand. I demand that you supply me with a charger so I can play the Animal Crossing New Leaf. That's disgusting.
I'm so sorry.
I can't hear it the way that they can.
I'm so sorry.
And the people are gonna hear that going through the speakers of their car. Oh my god, that's terrible.
I'm so sorry.
So speaking of terrible, this is the complete opposite of terrible. Quantum Dream. Have you ever heard of Quantum Dream?
Absolutely not. I've heard of Quantum Leap.
Different thing.
I've heard of the Quantum Ranger.
Hey, who hasn't? Right? Hey, that's right. So, Quantum Dream is a new game. Detroit Become Human. Become Human came out this week, and I've played a Quantum Dream game before. You ever heard of Heavy Rain?
Yeah.
Heavy Rain is pretty much what they do. It's like you're playing through a movie essentially, right? And it's like there's a screenplay and you choose the dialogue options. You choose like, hey, I need to grab this bottle.
Yeah.
All right. So move the joystick up. Now click X to bring it up to your mouth.
I don't like that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you get used to it. But that's how Heavy Rain was, and I enjoyed the mess out of Heavy Rain. I played like 3 or 4 times. Yes, you've heard of that because that's where
Jason. No, I said I heard of Heavy Rain.
Yeah. Sean. That's that game.
I know what Heavy Rain is.
Love that game. So yeah, they had that one. They had, what was it? Beyond Two Souls come out, and that one had like Willem Dafoe and that girl from Juno.
Oh, Juno.
Yeah, Juno. So it had them two in the game. They looked just like them. They were those actors. And here's the thing with Detroit Become Human, it was really weird because, from my understanding, and it like I looked at the old from the old box art, they had Jennifer Lawrence was gonna be the star of Detroit Become Human, and I don't know what in the world happened.
She got too big for her britches.
I guess so. Because like. See, it looks like her, but then it doesn't. I don't know. It looked like it was going to be her, but then it ends up not being her, and now it's like somebody else completely different. Pretty much it follows 3 androids in Detroit, right?
Wow.
And, yeah, if you didn't know. And that's pretty much where I'm going to end it. A great talk, but the reviews for these games are actually pretty positive. GameSpot gave it about an 8.8 out of 10. Not about, they gave it an 8.8 out of 10.
I was about to say that's a very specific about.
Yeah, IGN gave it an 8 out of 10. Pocket Lint gave it about a 4. I gotta stop saying that. Gave it a 4 out of 5. On the Metacritic, however, we are looking at about a 79 Metascore.
That's not bad, but that's
average. Yeah, it's average Metascore. User score, though, is 8.6 based off of 361 ratings.
That's not bad.
So that's not terrible. That's not bad at all.
I'm hearing it's good, not great.
Yes. It's overwhelmed, pretty good. There's some people that gave it negatives. There's about most of them are positive. That's all that matters. I hate the box art. This month, if you want to try Detroit Become Human, and if you haven't played Beyond Two Souls, from my understanding,
the Jedi are evil.
Stop! I'm going to pour this cherry thing all over your face.
Don't do that. It's a little too bubbly.
What is it?
I don't know.
Beyond Two Souls is free for PSN for the next couple of days, for like the next week, because that was the free game for.
That's the free game for PSN? That's smart.
Yeah, I agree. Because they were like, hey, we got our new game coming out. You want to play our old game? So
that's smart.
Play that if you like that style of gaming, because it's not for everybody.
No.
For sure. Like, the click left trigger to do this thing, and then action scenes, you have to be like on top of it and doing stuff. You got to make sure you're watching and do these things right.
Yeah.
Because in Heavy Rain, you die.
Yeah,
Heavy Rain is permadeath. You die.
If you die, you have to start the game over?
Nope. Not in Heavy Rain. If you die, you're that, because you have 4 characters you play it as. In Heavy Rain.
If one of them dies, like you have to play. What if
if
all
you
4
one
die?
of them, because it's a detective game, right? And they're all figuring out different things about this one case. And if one of your characters dies, whatever they would have brought to the case, whatever they found out, which they all find out super important things. Whatever they find out, if they die, nothing. If they die, whatever they had found out, if they didn't tell another character in the story, then you don't get it at all. It's kind of scary. So like really, it only happens to 2 characters where they can die.
Yeah.
But then the other 2 characters are there till the end, and then one of them can die.
I don't like those kind of games.
It's intense. It's really intense. It makes you stressed out like
I'm gonna
crazy.
fix the camera right now because the viewers can't really see me if I'm in one place. So you just keep talking.
Yeah. So, Detroit Become Human is a lot like that. I can't promise the permadeath thing the same way that it was with Heavy Rain. I like the sci-fi detective drama element. If you're into that kind of stuff, I say check this out. If you're into storytelling games, if you're into these, I almost said clickbait. If you're into these, what is it? What is that thing where you click a button? QuickTime events.
Arkham.
If you're into QuickTime events, this is the game for you. If you're into storytelling, Quantum Dream's pretty good about those kind of games. So if you want to pick this game up, it is a PS4 exclusive. Nice. Quantum Dream usually does PS4 exclusives. So
like everyone else does. PS4's the way to go, dude.
Hey, yeah, I agree. But that came out. Wait, what's today? 25th? That came out today. Check that out.
Yeah, it came out. Yeah.
Today. Yeah.
That dude at Second and Charles was like, I don't know.
Hey, that game came out? I don't know.
Dude, literally.
Is it behind you? Oh,
yeah.
Check it out. You want to buy some magazines?
I was about to make that joke!
So, yeah, that being said, my question to you, do you guys want to buy some magazines? No.
Subscriptions.
You want some magazine subscriptions? You can buy 3 and get a $5 gift card.
Dude, I really hope you don't want some of this garlic sauce. Are you really not eating that pizza?
No.
Are you freaking serious? I could have got a small or like a medium. Are you serious?
I'll eat it after.
Okay.
So, because I don't want to hear people. I don't want to hear my.
I'm sorry. I'm hungry.
Oh my god, that's great. All right, not movie news. Comic books.
We'll see if we have any more gaming news.
I think for the most part, I've hit what I've wanted to hit.
We've hit rock bottom. Oh, we have one more. Oh my god.
What?
Our childhood closed down. RuneScape.
Oh my gosh, yeah, oh my gosh. I played the crap out of that game.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was a member for like a month, and it was the best month of my life. It was amazing. I loved it. That game was, God, that was like the first real RPG I ever played. And I love like whenever you died, your guy was like, and then he just disappeared. And then you lost all your stuff and you were naked. I might be remembering this game differently. But, dude, I did so much mining. I did so much smithing in that game. That was the first game I actually got into crafting.
That was Skyrim before Skyrim was cool.
Mm-hmm. Plus, it was very interesting. It was a MMORPG. The graphics sucked. Music was there. You know, it was really cool because like everywhere you went, it had a different theme. God, I enjoyed. There's so many freaking memories in that game.
Yeah.
What was your favorite memory?
Making bread.
Yeah, I got into cooking in one of my
bread.
playthroughs. Yeah, I totally got into cooking. I got into cooking like pies and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. My favorite when I was a member was getting a kitten.
Ooh, I didn't ask.
My favorite one was to get a cat. I got a cat, and it followed me around, and it was great.
Yeah.
It didn't do anything. It just followed me around, and I thought that was the coolest thing ever.
Those games really... What I like about those games... Like, well, I say those games. What I mean is, like, RuneScape and, like, a game like Club Penguin.
Yeah.
What I liked about those games were people our age...
Yeah.
We could enjoy those games and play them, and it wasn't pay to win or pay to have fun. Like,
Yeah.
every game nowadays that you get, like... Fortnite, if you really want to like have fun with that game and not just be a random character, you have to spend some kind of cash or really grind into that game.
Right.
That's a bad example. Like Battlefront, you have to, if you really, really want to be good, or used to be, you have to pay for it.
Yeah.
Like with those kind of games, like you get the subscription.
Yeah.
You just get, like Club Penguin, you just get a couple different colored puffles, some different accessories.
Right.
And that's it. You don't get anything that's gonna Like, there's not a point in the game where it's like, okay, you can't play this anymore because you're not a Premier member. So
Right.
it was good though.
No,
R.I.P.
Yeah, it was very much like that. I did realize though is if you became a member, like 70% of the world got opened up to you. There's completely like there's a whole like underground city for dwarves.
Sure.
Which was awesome. But here's the thing though. I never leveled up my like what is it? My attack stuff. Like I never leveled up my main level, and the only way to do that is to level up your like fighting, right?
Yeah.
And I never did that. I always was a skiller is what they called it. I was into cooking. I was into fishing. I liked making things. I liked because you could do that. I mean, you could do that fine.
You're a real Southern boy, weren't you?
You know me, boy. So I love that stuff. It was very much enjoyable. With
Connor says he likes the Funko Pops.
Oh yeah, hey Connor, does this one look familiar? Yeah, I appreciate it. You guys are awesome for that, by the way. His family bought me that.
That's cool.
It was pretty. It was pretty awesome.
Pretty dope.
You wanna know what else I got?
Coffee.
Yeah. No, I got a really sweet cookie.
Where is it? I don't know why I sounded so concerned.
Where is it?
Where's mine?
No, it was really cool. Yeah, no, I love that pop. It's so shiny and nice. But, what were we talking about?
RuneScape.
Yes, I love that game so much. I remember I was told myself I was gonna do. I want to be an archer. Bad idea.
Oh,
that was like, that's how it is with a lot of games though. If you're gonna be into archery. You gotta want it.
You gotta
want it.
Skyrim's archery, if you want it to start off, it's like I want to get into archery. You go in there, sneak, does double damage, and they still come at you. Like,
yeah,
I gotta get
and
a
you're
sword.
just like,
yeah.
But like, if you work at it,
oh yeah,
your skills like you're just like Legolas by the end because
like,
you're able to like and then like slow down time.
Yeah.
To aim, and then like it's like 6 times damage on sneak.
Upgrading archery is never like there's never like you can upgrade your archery rank.
Yeah.
But it's like there's so much more to archery. Like with swords, it's just like upgrade your one-handed combat, you're good.
Right.
With archery, it's like okay, upgrade your sneak, upgrade your archery.
Yeah.
Gotta upgrade your combat somehow. So I mean like archery, I would give props to anyone who wants to do it. I give more props to anyone who wants to do magic. Magic is something that like
oh yeah,
you gotta have like
because you can't wear armor, or else it like debuffs your magic.
Yeah,
and that's the same way with RuneScape.
Oh yeah,
with RuneScape you had to wear robes that enchanted your. Cause you can't wear like I mean you could wear metal and do magic, but it didn't help as much. Also, it was really tough because you had to have runes to cast the spells, and if you wanted to be like, oh, I want to do a firestorm or something like that, I have to have one fire. I have to have a fire rune. I have to have like a wind rune. I have to have a something else rune. You have to have one of each of these runes or something like that. And every time you cast the spell, it uses one of each of those runes. So you had to have like hundreds of these runes when you're walking around. If you just want to cast your spells more than 5 times, you know what I mean? Like it was crazy. So I never got into that. I had sword, shield. And God, I love that game so much.
Well, you should have played it more, or else they wouldn't have.
They wouldn't have.
So thanks.
I haven't played it since middle school.
Thanks, Joe.
Yeah, I haven't played it since middle school. So I'm actually surprised it lasted that long. I didn't know people were still playing it.
I mean, the servers, from what I hear, are still fairly active. So.
Oh yeah.
I don't know. I don't really. I mean, there's got to be more to the story that I don't know.
Yeah.
But
I kind of wish I would have gone back and tried it one more time. Now that I've played
got until
Skyrim
June 30th.
and stuff like that. Wait, really?
Yeah.
Oh, shoot! I'm gonna give it a shot.
I really hope I'm not just spitballing some random stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, you
got till about July 35th.
Yeah, you've got to watch. Okay. So we can move on to comics now. You were just reading the Black Panther.
Oh my gosh, yes, I was.
Marvel Fresh Start issue 1.
Yeah, so Marvel Fresh Start. You know they've been doing the Fresh Start. They had Avengers #1 come out. They had Venom #1. If you watched my Freaky Fresh Start video, which a lot of you did, then you guys know what I thought about those. Well, this week marked the first issue of Black Panther. I didn't look anything up about this book. I just wanted to come in completely fresh because I wanted to experience these books the same way that somebody who, say, had just watched Infinity War and went, you know what, I want to pick up comics. You know, I want to know what they think and what they would have been like if they are. It was like, so 2,000 years ago, Wakandans were sent out into space.
Oh my God! Why does Fresh Start keep starting off every freaking book I've read? It's just like, hey, 1,000 years ago or a million years ago.
Hey, they love their origin stories, but specifically origins of things that happened thousands of years ago. No, they were like 2,000 years ago, and I think this was just for the story itself. I don't think this was something that happened in the comics. So, or in the comics up to this point, I think this is just a brand new story. Now, it was so weird because it was like, oh yeah, 2,000 years ago, we sent Wakandans into space, and they started the galactic Wakandan Empire.
Nice.
That sounds awesome.
Does it?
I mean, yeah, it spans 5 galaxies. It's about the size of the Shi'ar Empire. All right, the Shi'ar Empire.
Chitauri.
No, not Chitauri. Not the Chitauri.
T'Challa.
No, yes, but so this story, I mean, it obviously T'Challa is in it because it's, you know, Black Panther forever. So with it, he is a slave in like a vibranium mine.
Yeah.
And he's all these aliens around him. It's obvious that it's weird because it's like the Wakandan Empire is the bad guys, and then this rebel faction comes in, and they're characters from Black Panther lore. Well, yeah, Nakia and M'Baku are in this. They're called the Maroons or something like that, and they show up in their battle armor that just so happens to look like Black Panther armor, and it was just crazy. Like, I enjoyed the mess out of it. I was completely on board for it. But here's the thing. Let's say I've never read a comic book before. All right?
You just read one today.
Hypothetically.
Oh.
Yeah. Let's say I've never read a comic book before. And I watched the Black Panther movie, or I watched Infinity War. And I thought that Black Panther was really stinking cool, and I wanted to read more about him.
Yeah.
I pick up this book saying, "Oh, this is the #1. I can hop in on this," and it'll be just like, you know, it'll remind me, or it'll be like those other comics that I've been reading, or not comics. I'm sorry, like just those other movies that I just saw. You know, You look so sad.
This is why we edit our videos, folks.
Right. So, if they watch it and then want to read about it, this is not the best story for them.
Is it not?
Because it
Well,
takes place
it sounds
in
like
space.
a completely different thing that has nothing
It
to do with
is.
Black Panther.
Now, it is completely different from anything Black Panther I've ever read, which is totally cool with me.
Yeah.
You know, it is a fresh start in that regard. But if you're wanting to get new readers in on Black Panther, this might be interesting. This might be weird. This might be a weird way to get them into it.
I think a lot of people liked Black Panther the movie because they really liked Wakanda.
Right.
Like the whole atmosphere, which I don't love that movie, but like I do like the city and the world of Wakanda that they built. So for them to just be like, "Hey, I know y'all love space.
Right.
Let's go to space." So it sounds interesting, but it's cool to have a fresh start.
Oh,
that you
yeah.
Well, you liked Venom.
I did like Venom.
I liked Venom a lot. A lot of words, very wordy.
This one is not wordy at all. This one's very action focused.
Good.
I mean, I was able to, like, reading wise, I was able to go through it like
I might
10 minutes.
I might
Done.
pick it up on a Comixology then.
Comixology.com. Sponsored.
Comixology.com/Amazon.com/DJELLIS. That's not a real link. We don't have any sponsors.
Creed Thoughts.
Shut up.
So have you guys heard of this new
Like
rap?
Click It. Yeah, his name was like Cree something.
Oh, that was dumb. Hey, if you made
Creative.
Lego Marvel Superheroes 2 and you put in the rap battles, we hate you.
Oh, what up, Jade? You here?
Who's Jay?
Jade is in the chat. What up?
Oh, Jade. Cool.
Sorry I didn't see your message until now. But his name was Creed Native. Cree Native. Right?
Yep.
I feel like that's right. Okay.
Something like that.
But okay, Black Panther issue 1. I'm all right with that. I picked up the whole Jeff Johns Green Lantern run today before New 52, so that's a thing.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you were there.
Yes, I was. I'm just trying to act surprised for our viewers who don't know that. So, yeah, he picked those up.
That's all I got.
Sweet.
All right, that's where we end today.
No.
We have one more.
This week, this coming up week, I don't think there's any new releases for Marvel, but I do know there's a new release for DC.
Yeah.
So, if you've ever heard the name Brian Michael Bendis, he has been like a huge name in comics recently. He's the one that jump-started the Ultimate Universe.
Okay.
Yeah, so he's a huge deal in the comics world, right? He's like the Jeff Johns for Marvel. And so...
No, don't. I love Jeff Johns.
Yeah, and you can still love him.
Don't compare anyone to him.
What Jeff Johns is for DC, Brian Michael Bendis is for Marvel. Or was, because Brian Michael Bendis is writing Man of Steel.
He's on our side now.
He's on DC.
DC.
He's on the DC side.
That's my side.
He's writing a book called The Man of Steel. I think it's a 6-issue miniseries.
Cool.
Comes out this week. Now, I'm trying to do this. I never do this where I don't know anything about comics going in, but I'm doing that for this one. I don't want to know anything about what the story is. I want to go in completely fresh.
I'm assuming it's about Superman.
Okay, I'm going to thump you in the nose. I want you to understand that, and you have a bug on your hand. What? No. So, that's this week. I'm extremely excited because I really did enjoy Michael Bendis' runs on...
Sorry, I just got to chat. Caitlin and Allison are watching.
Sweet!
Our cousin Al.
Sweet!
Allison.
No. They're...
Allison, tell
what's
Caitlin
up, guys?
Tell Caitlin about the Family Ghost, please.
Yeah, that is definitely a
You
thing.
don't know about it.
No, I don't. Which is weird because I'm in the family. I
Barely.
feel like I should know.
Barely.
But that was your point. So, no, I'm extremely excited about it because Michael Bendis is a great writer. He did Avengers. He's wrote Avengers. He's wrote Ultimate Spider-Man, which is a great run.
Mm-hmm.
And I think they're basing Ultimate Spider-Man or the Homecoming.
Allison Ellis just subscribed.
Sweet.
Got the little Yoshi going on.
That's what I'm talking about. So, I'm excited for that extremely, and I'll bring that to you on the next Fan Friday. I just want you to just in case.
Does it come out this Wednesday?
It comes out this Wednesday. So my review will be up on Friday, unless something huge happens in the comic world.
Yeah, I don't know. There won't be anything.
Not that I can think. Well, see, we always say that, but then I don't know. If there's like a trailer that drops, we'll talk about that. If there's some news, we'll talk about that. No movies or anything. So at this point, Man of Steel, Brian Michael Bendis, that's what we're talking about this Friday.
Fan Friday.
So, speaking of movies, which I'm terrible with segues. I want you guys to understand that.
Speaking of movies. Yeah.
You want to do Jurassic World?
Real
First?
quick, I mean, just a couple reactions.
Yeah. I'm not going to do like the hour-long ones. But the world premiere for Jurassic World Evolution was this week. And so we have, of course, the Twitter reactions that came from it. And for the most part, they look pretty decent. So, which is weird because I've hated almost every trailer I've seen for Jurassic World. Not Evolution. I love that game. I can't wait for that game. But Fallen Kingdom. So, I'm gonna read a couple of the reviews or reactions so far. You tell me what you think. Okay. I mean, we can't really put our 2 cents in. We haven't seen the movie. But first one, Jurassic World 2 is the continuation that the saga deserves. Not only is it interesting as it is proposed, but what is to come is going to be brutal. I don't know what that... Oh, cool. Brutal. Brutal's in all caps, by the way. Yeah. He has done it. The best movie of a great saga.
Hold on. I'm going to turn my mic down a little bit because I think it was picking you up. You're telling me that this movie with an Indoraptor...
Is this the Dylan cam?
No, this is normal.
Oh, I was
Is
gonna say
better
you
than
said
the original Jurassic Park movie.
That's what he said.
My butt. Dude, I don't trust Twitter.
My butt.
I don't trust Twitter reactions anyway.
Yeah, Twitter reactions are interesting.
Because they told us that Solo was good.
Told us things about Solo was good. Like Alden Ehrenreich was good. They said it was a fun ride. We'll talk about Solo in a little bit. Next one. This one has a cuss word. Effing incredible. Thank you very much, director, for this wonderful film. Amazing. In all caps. It is a blockbuster, but disappoints me as a Boyana film. That's the director. It is very well put together film, but it offers few surprises. It's the first director movie that does not excite me. It raises several very interesting moral/social debate, because I love social debates in my Jurassic World movie. I love dinosaurs, and I love social debates in dinosaur movies. That's why I go to the movies.
Just give me dinosaurs.
I'm done.
For freak's sake.
Come on. I hate 2018. I'm hallucinating. Jurassic World 2 is a host of emotions and the beginning of a new era at the hands of J.A. Bayona.
There you go.
I guess this is his name.
Bayonetta.
Whatever.
Bayonetta
Awesome, very difficult from the first. Very different from the first. An incredible film. The music has left me blown away, as it should, because Jurassic World music is great. Last one. Nope. Last one. Yeah, last one. The film managed to exceed my expectations. Also, this has for me the best start sequence of the saga. So it exceeds its expectations. I don't know if its expectations were crap. For all I know, they could be. And apparently the beginning's good.
I'm assuming the beginning's when they go to the island.
That's the only part that excites me. Because if they're like, oh, we want to make an Indoraptor, because, we're going to try this genetic mutation thing, because that worked so well the first time.
I don't care about that. I want, I don't know.
Yeah.
This is like the one kind of thing I'm against, is just redoing Jurassic Park, basically. Because, Jurassic Park was cool, but I'm like, there's only so much you can do with dinosaurs before you start doing genetic modifications.
Well, based off the last trailer, they are doing something different. It seems like they brought dinosaurs back, or they brought the T-Rex back into the mainland in what is it, the Lost World Jurassic Park. They did that, sure, and they're doing that again in this one, but it's almost like, and this is probably where the social debate comes in, where they're like, oh,
changing the camera. Apparently, I'm barely in the screen. Keep going.
So with
Matilda.
So with this one, it seems that it's going to be a lot. There's the scene in the trailer where it's going. What the world? It's going to be like they're auctioning off the dinosaurs that they got back from the island.
Yeah.
So they get the islands back. They get the dinosaurs back, and then they're auctioning them off to all these people. And based off of where I'm seeing some of these, putting two and two together, somebody that owns a zoo gets the T-Rex, because there's a scene where the T-Rex is walking through a gate into a lion's pen at a zoo or something like that. So that looks to be what's going on. The Mosasaur is at the beach. I don't know what that's about. That thing terrified the crap out of me.
That one.
Yeah, I don't know who won that. Who wants to buy a 200-foot long fish with teeth? Oh yeah. Can we make those jokes on this show?
I just did.
Sweet. We're that kind of show now. So that I don't know. That part kind of made me intrigued, but the whole, hey, we're doing genetic modification. And I guarantee you they're going to sell it to someone, because they're like, you know how many millions a trained predator is worth? So hybrid dinosaur, so we can make money. There. He was the motivator for the first one, They were like, oh, we want to get people into the park. We got to make a new genetically modified dinosaur that get people in seats so they can buy stuff. And that's essentially what this is. That's what it looks like. Now, I haven't seen the movie, and I'm just basing off the Twitter reactions and my own dissecting of the trailers themselves, which I'm not a huge fan of. That's just where I'm at. I am excited. I am extremely excited, because I love, at the end of the day, I love anything Jurassic. People are like, oh, Jurassic Park 3 sucks. I still enjoy the crap out of it. Are you kidding? Dinosaurs are awesome. People running away from dinosaurs, awesome. You know what I mean?
It's repetitive, though.
Wait. And I did enjoy Jurassic World for the most part. I actually really did enjoy it.
It's okay to me. It's just mediocre. I thought the end was cool, but the whole movie leading up to that, I'm like, why the heck would y'all do this again?
The thing I liked about Jurassic World was that because in Jurassic Park they were setting up the park, but that they were just testing it out, and then everything went wrong. With this one, or with Jurassic World, it was already established. You saw the attractions, and
it went wrong.
Well, yeah, it went wrong. But like you had never seen how an actual functioning amusement park with dinosaurs would work, and it was really, really cool. That part, like, I was intrigued, super intrigued at that part. And honestly, it just started getting boring to me when it went away from that. You know what I mean? Like somewhere in the middle of the movie, like even after the Indominus Rex got out, I was still like semi-intrigued. But like when they were running away from the Indominus, for like most of the movie, I was like, meh. You know what I mean? I was like, I've seen this before. This is fine. Oh, they narrowly escaped. Now the end was incredible. That end fight was probably one of the coolest scenes in all of, I almost said Star Wars, Jurassic Park movies. But if I can get more different things, which is, according to this is very different, is what they're saying is very interesting, different from the first, which is good, I think.
Can I just have a summer without Chris Pratt's face on the silver screen?
No.
Because right now I'm pissed off at him for Infinity War.
For punching Thanos in the face.
Yeah.
You know it's not his fault, right?
What's not his fault?
Punching Thanos in the face.
He literally...
I know his character did. It's not Chris Pratt's
Well, then I'm
fault.
mad at the Russo brothers for being piss poor writers.
Be mad at them.
Look, say what you will. They
did
don't...
one thing wrong.
Yeah, well, they don't write
That
these
you
movies.
didn't like.
You don't write these movies.
I don't. You're
No,
absolutely
they
right.
don't. You know they don't. Disney writes these movies
Okay, yeah, it
for
wasn't them. So then why are you mad at them?
Because I don't think they're that good.
It-
I think they did one good movie, and everyone's hyping on that one. Winter Soldier.
Yeah, I know which one you meant.
And Captain America, Winter Soldier. And you mean Dupree.
Infinity War wasn't good?
Infinity War's good, but like all they did was basically get all the actors together and shoot cameras. I can do that. Let me rephrase that. I can't do that. I just don't. I don't know.
I was going to say.
What?
Nothing.
Okay.
I was going to say nothing. So, with moving into... Solo, yes. Sorry, I was like, what is that movie? What is that movie that I forgot I watched last night? Just to let you know how it went. We actually talked to somebody at the Lego store, and we lied to his face. Can we talk about that?
Oh, yeah, big fat lie to his face.
Yeah.
Well, he loved it.
And now, this is the thing I love about humanity, is we all can have our opinions, right?
Sure.
Now, here's the thing with this guy, though. He said that Solo was the best new Disney film, probably one of his favorite Star Wars movie that came out. I can't say I agree with that.
Oh, no,
I can't say I agree with that at all, even though we agreed with him. Because
because we told him.
We told him, we were like, oh yeah, no, we totally agree. Because we
No.
didn't want to be like, hey, you're a random dude. We don't know how you're going to be if we disagree with you.
Yeah, well, you could be a mass murderer for all we know.
You could like literally be on the edge of flipping out.
And that's going to be the
killing
one
everyone.
thing to set you off.
Mhm. Like, oh well, I didn't like Solo that much. And
just
just
choke
starts
us out.
choking us.
Yeah.
And then I'm on the other side of the store just looking like, oh, I wonder
Okay.
Yeah. So, Luke at the Lego store, we're sorry we lied to your face. Man, you didn't deserve us doing that to you, but we don't agree with you at all.
No, I didn't like it.
Like, it was okay. I enjoyed parts of it. I really did.
Sure.
I did enjoy parts of it, but the things that it needed to do, in my opinion, it didn't do. And I hate that because, like, you don't say sentences like I just said for other movies. Oh, it needs to do this thing for me to like it. Or it needs to do this thing to da-da-da. You know what I mean? Like, it's hard for me to sit down in a Star Wars movie and not have expectations for what it should or shouldn't be. You know what I mean? And I don't think that's fair to the movie. And I don't... Like, it's not... Thank you. It's not fair to the movie and to the people who made it, but... At the same time...
Well, no, it's entirely fair because Rogue One gave us what we wanted. We wanted to see a little bit of Darth Vader.
Mhm.
They didn't make him... Like, you can have these movies and not throw, like, Easter eggs and cameos in them, like, too much. This movie, all they needed to do was have a couple characters and a couple things, and then you would have had a fine movie, and you didn't because all this did was feel like a setup for a sequel
Mm.
to another solo film, which I'm like,
Yeah.
I don't want.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know, but I think it's bad. I think it's a very bad movie.
Very bad. No, it's just, to me, when they were like, oh, hey, we're doing a solo movie, I was like, I don't know, man.
Yeah, because that's what the people are asking for.
Because, like, it's weird. Because, like, no one asked for, like, the very first sentence you ever see in Star Wars was after a daring, mission to get the Death Star plans, blah, blah, blah. Like, they made a whole movie out of one sentence. You know what I mean? And, no one asked for that. But at the same time, I'm glad they did. Because they justified their existence. They said, okay, this is why this movie needed to be created. And it was really freaking good. And it expanded the lore a lot.
Well, Lego Luke, he didn't like Rogue One.
Who, what?
Luke at the Lego store.
Well, Luke's wrong.
Luke is
we
very
did establish
wrong.
that, right?
Luke is very,
he also said
very wrong.
Admiral Akbar was the one that led the charge. I was like, you racist, because not all Mon Calamaris are Admiral Akbar.
Yeah, because, yeah.
Just because they look like fish people does not mean that they are Admiral Akbar.
Yeah.
No, Admiral Radist is the person you're thinking about, Luke at the Lego store.
Admiral Radish.
Radish. So, he... Rogue One justified its existence. Plus, it gave us that bad Vader scene at the end. Really, the last hour of that movie is fantastic. And it threw in references that, were fun. They were fun, they were enjoyable, and they didn't beat you over the head with them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
With Solo, they were like, hey, do you want to know how we got the Millennium Falcon? I'm like, you already told us how we got the Millennium Falcon.
Hey, he won in a bet.
You won it in a card game. They literally say that. Do you want to know how Chewbacca and Han met?
No.
No, not really. It's fine. They just show us. That's cool.
Yeah.
And honestly, that was like the one. You want to know how he got his blaster? No.
I mean,
you want to know how he made the Kessel Run?
No. Okay,
I still don't know what the Kessel Run is.
Do you want to do spoilers now? Just kind of throw in spoilers, because I'll move the emblem when we start doing spoilers.
Yeah, give me one. Give me a couple seconds to talk about it. But no, and really, you can watch my review to see what I really think about it. But to me, it needed to justify its existence, and it didn't. Like, I don't feel like the Star Wars lore has expanded, or the Star Wars story has moved into a way that was like, okay, now I see why this movie needs to exist. Now, is it enjoyable? It has its parts. It does have parts where it is fun and it is enjoyable. Does Alden Ehrenreich do well as Han? For the most part,
he does well as a different, like, if this is Han in a different universe that wasn't played by Harrison Ford, then he's fine, because I didn't see any of Harrison Ford resemblance in him. Like, some of the stuff he said, I was like, oh, okay, that's something that Han would say, but I'm like, you didn't deliver it like
Han would do.
Yeah, but you didn't deliver it like Han.
Yeah, the way that Donald Glover delivered Lando.
Yeah, for the little bit that he was in it. Yeah,
like Billy D in some of those scenes.
Yeah,
he acted just like.
Well, now there's talks of making a Lando film, which I'm like, Disney's not even halfway listening.
Yeah, although they're Boba Fett movie from Logan director.
I almost spoiled this movie.
Don't do that. Don't do that yet. Not yet. But no, I don't know. So I just wish I really enjoyed it, because I love this side of the universe. We've seen a lot of the galaxy's gonna end kind of stories, and this one was a lot. It wasn't that. It wasn't this galaxy's gonna end, or the Empire's gonna blow up the rebellion, or anything like that. We didn't have anything like that, and I thought that was cool. We had lower stakes for the most part, but those lower stakes made me go, I don't feel anything. Like, I'm not afraid of anything. Yeah, they showed like, oh, these people died. I'm like, I just met them. I don't care.
Well, yeah, and it's like with the Rogue One, everyone dies, but like I loved every single person.
Yeah. No, I genuinely cared.
And
the people that died in this one, I was like,
like, oh, that was quick. Like they're probably in 2 scenes.
Yeah. Max.
What was I about to say? I don't remember. Continue on. Keep doing what you're doing.
I don't know. I say go. I do recommend you go and see it and let us know, because obviously
I don't.
I
don't recommend you go see it, because if you go see it, it gets more money, and they're gonna because they don't look at reviews, they just look at money.
That is true.
So don't go see it.
Don't go see it.
I don't want a sequel.
Yeah. Chris Pratt as Obi-Wan.
Stop it with Chris Pratt.
No, it's interesting. I think a lot of people are either going to be on board for the sequel, like Mr. Luke was, or they're going to be like super confused, like
Stupid Luke.
Why did this happen, and why did spoilers show up?
Can we move the emblem so I can talk about spoilers?
We're gonna move the emblem so we can talk about some spoilers because Dylan's literally about to blow his head off.
Because I'm not good at talking about
things that
aren't without spoiling it.
Yeah. So we're gonna go ahead and move the emblem. We're going to talk spoilers. So if you have not seen Solo,
now
a Star Wars story, this is your spoiler warning.
The emblem is now at the top of the screen, which now means spoilers have begun.
Is that what that means?
It does now.
That is awesome. I love that. So, spoilers have begun. You have been warned. If you want this spoiled for you, go for it. If you've seen the movie, cool, you're here to stay. You know what we're about to talk about.
If you don't see the movie and just listen to what we're about to say, I don't want a Boba Fett film because he should have been in this movie.
Yeah.
And I
agree
hate saying that I don't want a Boba Fett film. But why the heck was he not in the Solo movie?
You know why he wasn't in the Solo movie?
So they could do a sequel?
So they can do a sequel with him in it because they know that we'll want to see it.
That's
we'll want to see
I'm going to say it right now.
Mm-hmm.
I won't go see Solo 2.
I will.
I know you will.
I will. I can't.
Dude.
I can't not do it.
Yeah.
I am the problem.
Yeah, you're 100% the problem.
I am 100% the problem. Literally anything Star Wars that comes out, I gotta get it.
I disagree. No, I think Star Wars is going downhill real quick. I think Disney.
This was the first movie that made me think that.
Last Jedi made me think it.
Last Jedi made me go, because some people really liked Last Jedi, and I can see why they really liked Last Jedi. Some people really hated Last Jedi.
Ooh, I hate it with a passion.
I completely get that too. That one was the first one that made me go, okay, this is going to not only divide fans, which it did, but it's going to be the catalyst for, okay, is this whole Disney thing going to dive bomb Star Wars into the dirt? Or is it going to be like, okay, Star Wars movies forever, this is great, you know what I mean?
I think Solo is going to be the first snowball of a big...
Some people would say that was Last Jedi.
I would say it's Last Jedi.
I think Han Solo had some big shoes to fill. I think it needed to win back the people that lost by Last Jedi.
It didn't, because
for the most part, I don't think it will.
It does what I hate.
Which is?
They just keep introducing new things, like new characters, new things that like kind of messes up the lore, kind of doesn't. Mm-hmm. Like there's those troopers on like the train, and I'm like, okay, those range troopers or whatever. I'm like, you would see those in the original trilogy. Like that's one of my only flaws with Rogue One is the Death Troopers. I'm like, Death Troopers, you would see them.
Those that makes sense. The range troopers, that's like we don't see the cargo movement of the Empire too much, and I guess that's what they are for that planet. They have specific troopers for specific situations. So that's always been the case.
Yeah, whatever.
Canon, Legends, that's always it.
I don't know. I think Disney's just finally. I think they're doing okay with Marvel.
Yes, I agree.
I think Marvel movies are 50-50, or not 50-50. I think
like
some
80,
of them.
20.
Yeah, I would say some of them. A lot of them to me are mediocre. They're just like as superhero films are good, but like Spider-Man: Homecoming to me is just like a film that just exists.
Yeah.
But like Infinity War, like story-wise, the thing is normally like movies like Infinity War, I would hate just like, hey, you have to see every movie to go into this one to understand anything that's going on. But I liked Infinity War; it did it well. But Solo, man, I think Disney's finally. I don't know. I don't think they know how to do Star Wars.
You don't think Disney know how? But Rogue One was decent. I think, and I don't want to put all the blame on this. I don't think that they were helped out by the whole switching directors thing.
No.
That's what happened to Justice League. And look what happened with that. Now, I don't think Justice League was going to be amazing anyway, just with Scott Snyder on the helm.
Yeah.
But I think it would have been a little bit more...
better? More better?
Better, yes. I think it would have been better if... Or at least more focused. You know, because it just seemed all over the place.
Yeah.
In terms of pacing and tone. And this one, it was just, you could tell that it was rushed, honestly. It felt rushed. The pacing was all over the place. And that Luke was like, oh, the pacing in the beginning was great.
You're
I'm
so
like,
stupid,
no,
Luke.
But here's the thing: the movie opens up with. Like it's like a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away, as it should.
And then, oh yeah,
it's like
how
it
it's
started
dying.
showing like text.
It was showing like multiple text like sentences. I'm like, just do a crawl.
Yeah, I was like, if you're gonna do a crawl, own it. But here's the thing that it didn't matter.
It didn't matter.
They were like, oh, this Rio or not Rio,
this like
lady
this warm
Proxima or whatever is this bad lady on Corellia and Corellia is this place where We're on Corellia for like 5 minutes. I can understand.
And then never go back to Corellia.
No, they never go back to Corellia. And on top of that, they're talking about how big and bad this Proxima person is in the text. Honestly, you could have said like, you could have just told me, hey, we gotta get this to Proxima before blah blah blah.
And I would have been like, okay.
Without like, if I had closed my eyes for that first 60 seconds where they were showing all that stuff, you could have easily shown me
everything
that it was you were telling me with the text.
I didn't even read it. I was dying laughing.
Yeah, it was so dumb. And then it's something I've always wanted to see. Han speaking Wookiee.
That was the stupidest shit I've ever seen in my life.
God, it was so dumb.
Cringe, dog.
God, as soon as he went, brrr, I was like, no.
Hey, that's a pretty good Wookiee.
Thank you.
I can't do it.
Yeah, brrr.
Dog.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
My audition tape for Solo, because apparently I needed to speak Wookiee.
Oh yeah, we're not talking about. Okay, we're kind of jumping all over the place. We're kind of jumping all over the place. I don't want to talk about the whole movie like we did in Infinity War. I just want to talk about some of the key points here.
Yeah.
So he's on his home planet,
Corellia,
yeah.
which I was excited to see.
Yeah, so he's on there. You see that he works for like this underground kind of smuggler thing. Kind of, they're all like a family almost.
Like
he's supposed to get something for this lady Proxima who's a shrimp. She literally looks like a giant,
She's a very tall shrimp.
Just like a giant worm shrimp, which was some of the worst CGI I've ever seen in my life.
Bad.
And then, so he's like, I didn't get it, blah, blah, blah. She's like, get out of here. And so him and Kira, who is played by Emilia Clarke, who is a very one-dimensional actor. I didn't notice that in Game of Thrones. In Game of Thrones, I was like, oh, that's just her character. And this one, I'm like, oh, that's just her.
Yeah.
So she, so her and Han go, and they're doing this long chase scene.
Yeah.
I was
it
like,
took way too, yeah.
long chase scene, and they eventually are like, hey, we're gonna get to this Empire shuttle and get out of here. And they do. They bribe one of the Imperial, like, I guess guards or gate guards or whatever. They're like, hey, we got this. Basically, I don't know what the heck it is. Quaxium.
We'll say Quaxium.
We'll say Quakers.
Quakers.
So
they get Quakers.
They had some Quaker oats, and they give it to the girl, and she's like, "Oh, hi, y'all can go through." And then Han goes through, and then the lady shrimp girls or guys grab Kira, and Han's on the other side, and the gate's closed, and then the girl like that they just gave the Quaker oats to, just like was like, "Hey," set off an alarm like, "Hey, there's an intruder in there," blah blah blah, and so. T'Challa. And so Han goes up to this guy and is like, "Hey, I want to sign up for the I want to be the best darn pilot ever.
I'm gonna be the Imperial Navy. I'm gonna be the best pilot ever."
Yeah, and the dude's like, "Dude, I didn't ask." But the dude's like, "Okay, what's your name?" And he's like, "Han." He's like, "What's your last name?" He's like, "I don't." He didn't answer. And the dude's like, "Are you here by yourself?" He's like, "Yeah." He's like, "Okay, well, you're Solo. You're Han Solo."
Han Solo. Your name is Han Solo now. That's how you'll be known by everybody.
And the minute that happened, the minute I knew that, because when I read that on Reddit before the movie, I was like, Dolly, that's some stupid stuff.
So
but I was like, if they do it right,
Yeah.
it'll be okay.
Yeah.
But the minute I knew it was stupid was when Mom looked to us and was like, is that it?
Yeah, no.
That's
Like,
stupid.
man, that's bad.
So it's like skips to 3 years later, and I did like this scene. He's in the Empire, which I don't know how I feel about him being in the Empire, but I mean, I guess it happens. It happens in the movies. Does he talk about it in the original trilogy ever?
About his name?
No, about
Or being in the Imperial name. No, that was from old Legends books.
Okay.
That happened in Legends, but he doesn't mention it at all in the movies. The original movies.
Then I don't like that. I don't like that he joined the Empire because I always thought of him as like a.
Well, he did it. He did it for himself. Like how you thought of him. Like he did it to get off the planet, and then he did it. Like he kept doing it to eventually go back to Corellia and get Kira. Like he says that in the movie. Like he was doing it all for himself.
He's doing it for Kira.
He joined the Empire to get his girlfriend back.
Did you like seeing Han Solo have another love interest that wasn't Leia? I didn't.
I didn't care for it.
I was just like, I don't know. There's just so many things about Han Solo's character that I didn't like that they changed up in this one. I was like, I don't see him as a very romantic person, and in this one he's very romanticized.
He's extremely flirtatious in the original.
He's flirtatious.
Yeah.
But he's not like, I want to settle down.
Yeah, no, that part, yeah.
And blah, 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 blah. And I was just like...
Yeah, that part, yeah.
And I'm like, with Kira, like, I know what's going to happen. Like, obviously, she ain't going to make it.
She ain't going to make it. I don't see her in the original.
She didn't die at the end of this movie, but we'll get to that later.
Yep.
So, where am I now? So, he's in the trench. He sees Woody Harrelson's character there. Yeah, doing...
Flips and tricks and stuff.
Yeah, because that's practical in war. And
oh, stop it!
It's cool.
It's
it was
Star
cool.
Wars.
It was cool. I've never been a big Woody Harrelson fan. I don't get the hype behind him, but he was cool.
I wasn't a fan of him in this movie.
Yeah, I wasn't either, but he was cool. And so Han Solo goes up to him and just keeps bothering him. He's like, "Hey, I know y'all aren't actually Imperial because your suit has a ton of blaster holes in it, and either you heal fast." And I thought that was cool observation
cool.
of him, but because Woody Harrelson was wearing like commander or captain armor that had like giant blaster holes in it, and so he's basically like, "Hey, let me join you," blah, blah, blah. And then Woody Harrelson is undercover, or like, I guess, in disguise or whatever. And then he calls the commanding officer there and tells him that Han's a deserter.
Yeah.
They throw him in this stupid mud pit trap thing with Chewbacca in there. And then that's how they meet. And Chewbacca is apparently like this monster. And they're fighting. And then Han speaks Wookiee.
A Wookiee?
And that was the stupidest thing I've ever seen in my life.
That was dumb.
But they get out.
Yeah.
And then Woody Harrelson picks him up, and then
it goes from there. And then there was some random train heist, which had its moments, but at the same time, I was kind of bored.
I was so bored.
Yeah, like at first I was like, okay, this is kind of cool, but then at a point I was like, oh, okay, we gotta start doing something else.
Mm-hmm.
And the part that made me do that was when, and I can't even remember the name. The other faction, the bad guys.
Yeah, I don't remember.
Well, not even bad guys, because we'll talk about that.
I don't remember their name.
But we'll just say the rebels for reasons. So these rebel people, it's like it's a faction that's against the Red Dawn, I think, which is
Wolverines.
The Wolverine, which is what Woody Harrelson's working on. Once they showed up, I was like, I'm done. But seeing the main one throw down for a little bit, I was like, okay, this could be interesting. On board again. You know what I mean? Things go wrong. Some of the people die. Woody Harrelson he's like, all right, Han, you gotta work with me on this one, or else this guy's gonna kill you. You know what it's like to have a bounty on your head? It's not a good life. Honestly, I think that would have been a cooler movie, because then you would have gotten bounty hunters. Yeah. But you get the name drop of Bosk. That was pretty cool. That's true. No, I'm going solo on this one now. So with I'm just right here.
No.
So with they move into that you find Paul Bettany's yacht, and Kira's there, and she's all like, "Oh, I've done bad things, and now I'm here." And she
was like, "Yeah, how'd you get out of that life?" And she's like, "I didn't." And I'm like, if I was this is why I can't be in these movies, because if I was like, "Oh, how'd you get out of that life?" and she was like, "I didn't," I'd be like, "What? Obviously you did, because you're in a yacht.
No,
what do you mean? What do you mean by that
crap?
Come here, lady. What do you?
Hey, no.
What do you mean by that?
What do you mean by? Tell me.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, they eventually go into Paul Bettany's room, and you see some cool.
You see some posters of the Vision, and
he starts talking about, "Hey, I'm in movies."
He starts giving out our Avengers 4 spoilers, and I'm
like, dude, whoa! I thought it was a solo movie. Come on, man, we had a year.
But
no, it was interesting.
His room is cool.
His room was really cool.
Because there's a lot
full of Easter eggs, and by that I mean one Easter egg.
Two Easter eggs. You had a Sith holocron, and then a Mandalorian armor that looks just like Boba Fett's armor. For some reason, it's in there.
It's pretty cool.
That was cool.
That was cool. So moving into Paul Bettany's pretty much like, you guys got to get me that stuff that you were gonna get me, but
or I'm gonna kill you,
or I'm gonna kill you, essentially. And
you don't ever really find out what it is they like. You know what it is they want, but you don't ever find out why.
It's like a fuel source.
Yeah, but why? I feel like someone like him can buy some.
Because we have to have them get something. Duh.
I hate this film.
I think it would have been cool. Kyber crystals.
You could have had that would have been cool.
I thought that would
so
have been cool.
many better things happen in this movie.
Mm-hmm.
That didn't happen.
I talked about that in my review. I said that there's a lot of potential, and I just don't think they utilized it. I think they just went safe. They played it safe.
Don't do that.
Don't do that.
This could have been a good film to kind of cross the two worlds.
Last Jedi, they didn't play it safe at all. And
well, I mean, there's a good in between of playing it too safe and playing it.
Yeah.
Like
they played it way too safe with a lot of these things. They were like, oh, we're not
but
gonna
did
get
they
them to
because
get...
of the ending?
But see, that's the only thing. But the most interesting part of it was the only part that they.
And I think they
took a bet on.
And they did. I don't think they, as much as I. So anyway, they go. So Han Solo's like, the only place I know where to get this Quaker Oats is on Kessel.
Yep.
And then they go to Kessel, and then they meet Lando because Kira's like, I know someone who has a ship, and so they meet Lando, and he's cool.
Yeah, he's. Really
that whole scene was okay. He was the best part of that scene, but like
L3.
You get L3, who I hated to no end. I hated that.
Yeah, I was not too much of a fan. She had her moments that were kind of funny, like when Kira kicked that guy's butt, and she's like, "Whoa."
Yeah.
That was funny. Turns out I forgot the karate martial art that she uses, but apparently the martial art that she used, that she said, was like, oh yeah, I studied this. It's the same martial arts that the Praetorian Guards use. Apparently that's a thing. I don't know. I just
didn't do them that well though.
I know. I was going to say it didn't really help them out that much. Helped her, but didn't help them.
No. So where are we? We meet
they get the ship.
We meet Lando. He cheats in a game and keeps the Millennium Falcon, but he's like, yeah, dude, I'll go with y'all. And so he goes with him to Kessel, and that scene's okay. They get what they need to do. It's just your classic Han Solo, Chewbacca, just wearing disguises.
Yeah.
Well, what I actually hated that part, the Kessel part. And I think you liked it.
Kessel Run?
No, I don't know what the Kessel Run is still. I hated the Kessel scene because I was like, that would have been a cool, like...
I enjoyed parts of it.
You seen Argo? Have you seen Argo?
No.
Okay. Well, in Argo, there's a scene where, like, they need to get something and get out quick. And you're, like, on the edge of your seat. Because I'm like, if they get caught, they're screwed. And this one, I was like, this would be a perfect opportunity to do, like, a smuggler heist kind of movie. Mm-hmm. And it's like, it was like that for a second. And all of a sudden, just thermal detonators, blasters.
Like, hey, let's just blow stuff up. Because they were like, hey, we haven't had an action scene in a while.
No.
And we're not about to have the freaking Kessel Run, which is nothing but an action scene.
Yeah. So there's a reviewer of ours that we like called Jeremy Johns, and he was talking about that in his review. I was like, I don't know what he's talking about. I get it now.
Was it.
Every scene was like that. Every scene that could have been a cool heist. I don't know. Is heist the right word? I guess
That's what they kept saying it was.
Very cool heist, on your edge, smuggler scene, because that's kind of how you feel in, in episode 4, they're on the Death Star. My God.
Yeah.
Like if they're caught once, they're done. And I mean they did get caught, but it was at the very end.
Right.
So, I was like, you could have done that so many times in this movie, and I would have been like I know they don't die, but I'm like, I love stuff like that.
Yeah.
So
I think that in Star Wars would have been awesome.
So and there's so many different scenes, like the one on what's its home planet? Corella Deville. So like on Corella Deville, like that whole chase scene, I'm like, y'all are making so much noise, and it's like, I'm surprised that the Empire wasn't like, dog, we saw y'all driving up, like,
yeah. Come on, man.
We saw all of that.
Yeah, you made a big scene. One of our troopers died.
Oh yeah, one of the big fat died.
Big old died.
So, I don't know. I don't know. Yeah. But so we're on Kessel now.
Yeah. And
so they're on Kessel. They're doing this cool little heist, and all of a sudden, all hell breaks loose, and blasters and thermal detonators start going, and then they're like in this. They get all the stuff they need. This Quaker Oats, and they go off, and they're like, oh, we have to do the Kessel Run now, which I still...
L3 died.
L3 died, thank God. And then Lando's being weird about it.
Yeah.
Lando's being weird. He's like, I loved this robot. And I'm like, okay.
Yeah, that was weird.
So they do the Kessel Run. Well, it was actually a very cool scene, and I know you hate this scene now with the Star Destroyer. I know you hate it now.
I do now that you told me.
They go into space, and it's really cool. Like, it's very cloudy in space, which makes sense. And all of a sudden, like, the clouds kind of open up, and there's this giant ass Star Destroyer.
Awesome.
Giant ass.
Yeah.
And what I read, and like I said, I don't know how much truth this holds, but in the original script, that was supposed to be Grand Admiral Thrawn's ship.
I would have lost my mind.
Like, you weren't ever going to see him, but there was going to be a name drop of his ship.
Oh, that's fine.
So, like, you would have been looking at it and be like, he's in there.
He's in there. I'm looking at the thing.
Like, he's probably looking at the Falcon right now, just like.
Lost my ever-loving mind.
So, they, like, veer off into the clouds, and that's when the whole Kessel Run thing happens. And I will give that was actually a fun scene.
I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think there's enough, but like that one reminded me of like old like Empire Strikes Back, him going through the
and just being overly confident, even though
things that like hiding in the trash, like doing all these tricks.
Yeah.
With the Millennium Falcon.
Well,
like, that's what it reminded me of.
When he was driving the Falcon, that reminded me of Han Solo. That was probably the most Han Solo-esque moments that he had as the actor. Like, how overconfident he was and all that kind of fun stuff. So, the Kessel Run, I guess, I still don't know what the Kessel Run is.
I don't, and that I'm still not 100%. Like, how do you do
the Kessel
Run? And because Lando says, like, you can't do the Kessel Run in less than 20 parsecs. I'm like, okay, so it's a unit of time. And then he's like, oh, well, I found a shortcut. I'm like,
or is it a unit
of distance? And apparently it's a unit of distance. And, like, doing the Kessel Run, he's able to do it in less distance than the Kessel Run is, which doesn't make sense to me. Because then it's like, hey, I can run a 5K in 1K.
Yeah, it's a shortcut, I guess, is what he found.
And that, which is, like,
it works.
Way less cooler.
Yeah.
Like, then that's just way less cool to me.
So they do that.
Yeah.
And
it was still enjoyable. It was still cool. Now there's a giant monster for some reason. That didn't make sense to me.
But I like the mall was there. That was cool. I think it was Legends, and now it's canon now, which is cool. So they go to, I don't remember the sandy planet they went to. I don't think they named it. So they go to some sand planet to get the Quaker Oats refined, and I gotta stop calling them Quaker Oats. People are gonna be coming in now and being like, "What is this movie?" I kept calling it Quackulum, and I kept making a quack. Quack. And so they get it refined. My favorite shot of that movie is like Han Solo and Lando just like staring at the Millennium Falcon. He's like, "Hey, thanks for letting me drive your ship." And then Lando's like, "I hate you." And like you look at the Millennium Falcon, and it's just trashed.
Yeah, it was so pretty. It was gorgeous.
So, and then the people from the train heist show up.
Yeah.
And they're like, "Hey, give us that now."
Yeah.
And
the leader takes off the helmet. It's like a little girl.
And it like pans on her face for like 30 seconds. I'm like, I don't know who this is. I thought it was maybe Funke from Arrested Development.
Right.
But it wasn't.
No.
And so, I guess, and this is kind of where the story gets a little convoluted for me, because it's like they join sides, but not really, and then like 5 people got double crossed. But basically, I'm gonna try if I can do this here.
Go for it. More power to you.
Woody Harrelson doesn't want to join their side. Woody Harrelson wants to just kind of get out of Dodge.
Yeah.
So Woody Harrelson's like, no, you know what? I'm done. I'm giving up. Right. So he leaves. Han Solo's like, yeah, dude, we'll help y'all. These like the people who stop him in the train heist, I guess the rebels, as Joe called them earlier. Yes. Because one of them takes off their mask and it's that guy in Saw Gerrera's temple.
Yes.
With like the gas mask looking thing.
Yes. Which
was super cool to see him, and like they're wearing Saw Gerrera like armor almost.
Yeah.
And so Han Solo's like, dude, we'll help y'all. Here's the plane, and then it just like kind of pans to him and Kira and Chewbacca in Red Dawn's ship, I guess, or whatever his Vision's yacht.
Vision.
in Vision's yacht, and they're like going up to see him, and they are like, "Hey, we got your stuff. We got your Quaker Oats.
Yep.
They didn't have the Quaker Oats with strawberries in them, so we got you the honey ones, and I hope that's okay." And he's like, "I really like honey bunches of oats." They're like, "Well, they didn't have honey bunches of oats. We got your Quaker Oats." And he's like, "I guess that's okay.
Yeah.
But, can you stop at the store on the way home, maybe Publix or something like that? Because where'd you go today?" And they're like, "Well, we went to Target." He's like, "Well, can you go to Publix tomorrow, please, and just see if they have my honey bunches of oats? Like, if you don't do it, that's fine, but, like, I don't really like Quaker Oats." And I'm like, "Oh, yeah, that's fine. That's okay." And so he's like, "Okay, well, thank you so much. Oh, we're also out of trash bags if you don't mind getting those." He's like, "Oh, yeah, dude, I'll get you some trash bags. That's fine."
I think me and you remember this scene very differently. I'm impressed that you were able to see that go. Very, very well done. So this one did feel like a good heist movie to me, where it's like, oh, we tricked you, but like, oh, this person double crossed you. Oh, well, you tricked them. You know what I mean? Like, and it's just revealing this as it's getting revealed to them.
So he shows him the Quaker Oats, and Paul Bettany's like, "Oh, wow, you made it really look close to the real stuff." And Han Solo's like, "Because it is the real stuff." And then he's like, "I'm sure it is, because my source from the outside tells me it's not real stuff." And then Han Solo looks at Kira, and then Paul Bettany's like, "No, it's not her, but I knew you'd look at her." I'm like, "Well, yeah." When he said that, I was like, "Yeah, who the hell else is he gonna look at?
Yeah.
Who was on this heist that's in this room right now?" Chewbacca doesn't talk.
I know, and then it was like, they were like, "Oh no, somebody else worked for me." I'm like, I knew you were all working for him.
Yeah,
don't
literally,
literally everybody on this. You said they were working for you.
Yeah, and then Woody Harrelson shows up. He's like, "It was me, kid," and then I did it for all the.
I told you not to trust anybody.
And I'm like,
stupid.
Yeah, wow. And so, oh God, hold on, my mouth is so dry from talking.
No, you're good. I'll hold it from there.
Mouth.
It turns out that the Quaker Oats, those were the actual real Quaker Oats.
Yeah.
They thought they weren't them because they thought that they had given them to the other people, to the rebels. And the rebels did like a sneak attack on Paul Bettany's men who were going to attack them, and the village people are wearing the armor. It's not actually the rebels, and then the rebels like beat him up, and then you find out it's like, oh, it's Warwick Davis, who apparently I looked this up, is playing the same character. You remember how he showed up in episode 1? Same character.
Oh, that's cool.
Apparently it's the same character. I forgot the name. It's like Weasel or something like that.
That's cool.
Or it's something like that. But apparently that's the same character. And then Two Tubes, the guy from Rogue One.
Is that his name?
That's his name.
Okay,
because
you said
he has 2 tubes.
You said that in the parking lot when we were talking about it. I was like,
yeah, that's his name. That's his canon name.
I like that. I like him.
Mm-hmm. He's cool. So yeah, Saw Gerrera's guy is part of this group, and they beat up Paul Bettany's men, so they're good, fine. What ends up happening? What is it? When Paul Bettany found, not Paul Bettany. I'm sorry. When Woody Harrelson finds that out, he's like, screw that, and he like shoots everybody. He shoots everybody, all the bad guys.
Oh yeah, all the bad guys, because Red Dawn cannot be stopped, and they'd come after you, and then Woody Harrelson just wipes out a whole room.
Yeah.
They
kept saying, "Oh, Red Dawn, they'll kill you." These guys get beat up like punks.
Paul Bettany's bodyguard, Woody Harrelson, just shot them all and then left.
Yeah, it was fine.
With Chewbacca for some reason. And so
he took Chewbacca with the Quaker Oats. Yeah,
with the Quaker Oats, so it leaves Kira, Han, and Vision in there, and they're fighting, and then
it was cool. He had vibroblades.
Yeah, cool. That was. He didn't do a damn thing with them though.
He cut stuff, which is what they're literally there for.
I can do that with a butter knife, literally right now.
No, I don't know. It was cool to see a vibroblade in a movie.
So he died. Kira stabbed him with a sword.
Yeah.
For some reason, there's swords in Star Wars. She stabbed him with a sword. He died really quick, actually.
Yep.
And so Han's like, "I'm gonna go get Chewie," and she's like, "You go do that." And he's like,
"I'll make out with you first, and then you go do that."
And then it was like the most awkward thing ever. He's like, "I'm gonna go get Chewie," and she's like, "I'm right behind you." And she's like standing there. He's like, "Come on." She's like, "Oh, I'm right behind you." And then the elevator goes down. I'm like, she tricked him.
Ooh, you got me.
Or she didn't really trick him, but she was like, "I got to do some stuff here first, whatever." Yeah. But like how it was worded was weird.
Yeah.
And so he goes and finds Woody Harrelson with Chewbacca and the Quaker Oats, and Woody Harrelson's doing this monologue, and I loved it. I loved it because it reminded me of the line from Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, where like some dude's in the bathtub, and like the bandits come in there and they're like trying to talk to the dude while he's in the bathtub, and it's like, dude, you're gonna be arrested, and the dude in the bathtub just like shoots him, and he's like, if you're gonna shoot, don't talk. And then Woody Harrelson just keeps talking, and Han Solo, like in the middle of one of his scissors, just shoots him.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Awesome.
It was awesome.
That was awesome.
It was because
it was like Han shot first. You know, I thought that's what I thought.
I did too. I was expecting them for some reason to say it.
He's like, "Oh, you shot first."
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I wouldn't put it past
cool.
this movie.
That was really cool.
That was cool because I wasn't really expecting it. All of a sudden, he just shoots him, and I'm like, okay, so Woody Harrelson's dead.
Yeah, mid sentence, which is how it should be. He should blast Greedo mid sentence.
Yeah,
which is great.
But so he gets the Quaker Oats and gives them to the rebel people, and
before he gets shot though, somebody shows up. Do you want to talk about that now?
No, that's not before he gets shot.
No, I guarantee you it is because I was too busy thinking about it.
It is. It is. Right, oh my God, because they did that should have been the very last credits.
I agree because once he showed up, I
was out of the movie.
Zoned
okay.
Out. That's all I could think about.
So Kira gets. So okay, it is right after that scene where he leaves Kira, and it shows Kira.
Alone,
she takes Paul Bettany. I don't know why I just like did that whole thing where I'm like, you started talking. I was like, she takes
Paul Bettany's ring.
Yeah, she takes Paul Bettany's ring off him and puts it in like his desk thing and like activates this thing, and also this hologram of this hooded guy shows up, and she's like, I don't even remember what she was saying.
No, I couldn't either.
But basically,
I was too busy going like.
Yeah. So it's this hooded guy, and then he starts talking, and you're like, that's a pretty deep voice. And then he takes his hood off, and it's Darth Maul.
Darth freaking Maul.
Darth Maul with his robot legs, and he's like, just meet me on... Dathomir. That's what I said.
Yeah.
And he's like, meet me on Dathomir, and we're going to start working really closely. And then for some damn reason, he does the Force, gets his lightsaber, and then ignites it.
Shows you, hey, I still got 2 blades, fool.
Which I'm like, who are you going to use that on? Yeah. No one in this movie had a lightsaber except you.
Yeah, you just turning it on. Oh, it was just fine.
Wait, I mean, which is cool. And so that movie ends.
Yeah.
Oh, the movie ends with him going into some random ship. Wasn't the Falcon?
No, he
gets the Falcon at the end, but he gets.
Yeah, I don't remember.
He goes into some random ship, and he's like, "Hey, I heard about some guy on Tatooine that Oh no, I'm wrong. He goes to meet Lando. I don't know how he knew where he was.
Some tropical. I guess it was a tropical part of that planet. I don't know.
Yeah, he goes to meet Lando on some tropical thing. Takes his little, because earlier in the film when he played, he had
pulling cards out of his sleeve.
Yeah, so he takes that out of Lando's sleeve. So when he's about to beat Han, Lando goes for that card in his sleeve. It's not there, and that's how he wins the Falcon. Mm-hmm. And the movie ends with Han and Chewie going like, "I heard there was something big shot gangster in Tatooine." Mm-hmm. So obviously talking about Jabba.
Yeah, and Jabba has Boba.
Yeah. Now, I did in the trailer when you see Woody Harrelson saying there's a big time gangster looking for a job. That he's talking about Jabba at that point, because I watched. I was like, and then they
edit it in a way that makes it look like he's talking about Bettany, but he's actually talking about Jabba.
Yeah, because that's towards the very end of the film. But that's it. That's Solo for you.
Putting on a crew, which means part 2. We're gonna get, if they make a part 2, which it's. Girl, because I want to see Jabba, I want to see it, but I don't.
Yeah.
You know, I want to see what they do with Darth Maul. I want to see what they do with. I want to see Jabba and Boba Fett, and I want to see how this story ends. I mean, it's like reading the first book of a trilogy of an okay novel. Like, it puts in just enough that makes you go, I want to see more, but at the same time, I'm like, okay, the writer's got to get a lot better.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I don't know. Darth Maul, good or bad?
So seeing him on camera was good.
Mm-hmm.
It was cool.
My heart was racing at that part.
Yeah, I knew about it because I read it.
Yeah, and you told me about it.
It was still cool to see on screen because I was expecting the way that Reddit described it is that he's going to be in a handheld communicator.
Yeah.
And I was like, that would have been like dumb. But like it was cool to see him
Yeah.
But it raises so many questions for people who don't keep up with lore.
Yeah.
Which like a lot of people don't.
Mm-hmm.
Like
They
we
don't. Yeah, like
we
Mom
do
and Dad were
our
sitting beside me, and they were like, I thought he got cut in half. I thought he died.
yeah.
I'm like, yeah.
To the common people, yeah. Because like as much as I love the Clone Wars and I don't watch Rebels, but like I will highly recommend the Clone Wars.
Mm-hmm.
People don't want to watch the Clone Wars. They're just like, I don't want to do it. And I'm
Yeah.
like, okay, fine, I don't care.
Yeah, it's a kid's show. I don't want to.
And it does start off very kiddie. If you watch it, it starts off so rough, and then they realize, oh, our audience is
primarily
adults. So
yeah, but we're still under Cartoon Network.
yeah, but
Yeah.
like, yeah, Darth Maul's alive, but like to the common people, this is like very like, why?
Yeah, but then again, we had this moment back when they did it in Clone Wars. They were like, "Oh, he's still alive," and people were like, "Why?" You know what I mean? So
I feel like I low key feel bad for Darth Maul. Here's how Darth Maul feels for me right now. It's like someone on life support that you just don't want to let die.
yeah,
Like he's dead in Rebels.
yeah, he died in Rebels,
And
He
I
is
think
dead.
they should just let him rest.
I think that
let
would be
him
fine.
die.
Yeah,
Because this does take place before Rebels, so it makes like sense continuity wise. But I'm like, just let him die. Just let him stop.
yeah,
Like, God.
yeah. I think that it was weird. Yeah, it was interesting, and it was weird, but at the same time, I'm like, because he did start getting involved in gangs and making forming gangs and the.
I get
like,
it.
That makes sense, but at the same time, I don't know. Bringing him into the movies, you do raise that question, but that question was also raised for people who were watching the show, and now you're just making it more mainstream, and yeah, I don't know. This is why I think if they didn't do a sequel, that wouldn't like I think it would just confuse people more. You know what I mean?
And I feel like it's the whole reason they added him in there.
Oh heck yeah!
Because you added like
That part
Boba
made me
Fett or
go-
Jabba in there, it'd be like, oh, that's why they know who Han Solo is.
Yeah, I think. Although I don't know, they have to really tread lightly on how they're gonna do this because a lot of people love Darth Maul. A lot of people thought that Darth Maul was a one-hit wonder, which to a lot of people he was.
Well, I mean, he is. He like Phantom Menace to me it's not my least favorite Star Wars film, but like I see why people don't like it.
Right.
The politics are very like
Just how they do it was boring.
I think like I love political movies, but
Right.
I'm like and the politics of they're interesting politics, but they're done very bad.
Yeah.
They're not done in an interesting way.
Right.
Because it's very like if they did episode 1 right, that's kind of where you see the Emperor like really starting to get power. And I'm like, if they did it cool, it would have been fine.
Yeah.
And get rid of Jar Jar. But like this trilogy has Rose, so you decide on which one's worse. But you say Rose? I say Rose just because she's more fresh in our minds.
Yeah. Jar Jar's probably worse.
I say Jar Jar's worse in episode 1, but he's not in 2 and 3 that much.
Yeah. And hopefully Rose is only in episode.
Dude, I hope they like off-screen kill her in episode 9.
Oh yeah, she actually died from her injuries from trying to save you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Don't you feel guilty? Oh, I feel so guilty. I don't care.
How it should have ended. We died. We die saving the people we love. That's what I was trying to do.
I was trying to do that.
Because if he did that, they would have been like, okay, we have a cool little base here.
Yeah, I thought that would have been cool.
Because he would have killed Hux. He would have killed Ren.
He would have saved them all. It would have been awesome.
Dumb ass Rose.
That's what I was trying to do.
But
let me kiss you. No.
God.
Ugh,
or like,
no.
and then they shoot him in the other alternative one. Like the Empire's just like, just shoot him.
Yeah.
But what was I saying? Darth Maul. So Darth Maul's alive, and look, I get it. It's cool, and he does start working with bounty hunters or like smuggler kind of thing in Rebels, I guess. And at the end of Clone Wars.
Yeah.
But
when
like
he shows up, he's literally trying to reform a Sith Empire, and the way he's going to take over the galaxy is by
Mandalorians.
Well, Death Watch, which is it's a
Mandalorians.
Yeah, them as well as the Pikes, which they mentioned in the in Solo, which was cool. He takes a couple of, he makes a gangster army, essentially. Makes it
Which,
crime.
yeah, which
family.
is cool, but I'm like, you know how convoluted that's going to be with Darth Maul's crime family and then introducing Jabba's crime family and Solo 2, which is it's kind of an oxymoron.
So there's like 5 different crime families.
Are you sure? Sure, but like when you think of Han Solo, you think of Jabba.
Yes.
I do too.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
I don't think there's anything wrong with having an enemy faction.
No,
in terms
no,
of
for
Jabba.
sure, but
I think that actually makes it
no,
kind of cool.
100%. And there's no way that all those like each other. It's
No.
like The Godfather, but
Right.
like Darth Maul, just why? Just let him die. This movie.
It depends on how they do it, because I'm not off board. Like, I don't think it's the stupidest idea.
No.
Because it does make sense to the character in Clone Wars, not to the movie. See, that's the thing. It makes sense to the character from Clone Wars. It doesn't make sense to the one from the movies, which is
And last time people saw him in the movie,
he
he's
was
just
cut in half, and now he's like, oh well, I formed a band of gangsters
And he
thugs,
talks.
and I talk now, and like that's completely new to people. You know what I mean? And it doesn't.
It's very different from his character from what people were left off of, because that was
Yes.
kind of one of my biggest gripes with Clone Wars. It's like, and granted, in Episode 1, you don't get a lot of character development of him, but you get what you need. Well, you get what you need. He's like,
a bad
okay,
guy,
he's a
still.
silent killer. Like, he doesn't need to
an assassin.
talk. He's an assassin, but like, he's evil. That's about it. He's just a
Right.
Sith Lord.
Ooh.
A Sith Lord? So... You get that, and then all of a sudden you see him in Clone Wars. He's like, I'm so mad, and I just want to start this like basically this new Sith Empire. And you're like, okay,
Yeah, this one.
yeah, it's like why?
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think the idea of Darth Maul coming back is cool, and it was very cool to see him. But I just don't want a Solo sequel.
Yeah.
Because you could have done everything in this one.
Yeah.
Because then apparently
they could have, but then they wouldn't have made. They are gonna make more money if they do too.
in one of the leaked scripts I read, Boba Fett was part of his little clan in this one, and he double crosses him, and that's why Boba Fett don't like him.
Boba Fett.
But like,
Nah.
there's so many things that could have been better about this movie.
I think if they do a sequel with the stuff that we actually want out of Han Solo, that actually feels like Han Solo, I think it'll be better. However,
Yeah, we should.
is it necessary? No.
That's like Rogue One ending with like a cliffhanger.
Yeah.
Like, and they
Like,
don't
hey,
get the
these
plans.
people- yeah, they don't get the plans.
I'm like,
And they have to do another mission. Like, you don't have to do that. These Star Wars stories can just be
one shots.
one shots, which I thought that would have been fine.
I thought that's what they were supposed to
it
be.
opens up to a sequel. I'm like, wow.
And now they're in talks to make a Lando movie, which I don't want to see.
As much as he was awesome,
Yeah, he was awesome. There was one gripe about Lando that I had, and it wasn't Lando so much that I had the gripe with. It was Han and Lando's relationship. Because in Episode 5, you see him, and they're like, oh, these guys have a pretty rich past. And this one is like, well, Lando doesn't really kind of like Han.
Yeah. Well, they didn't trash the ship, and that's probably because it's going to develop more moving into the sequels, which they're evidently going to make.
But it's like, I don't know. When you see him in Episode 5, it's like, oh, they have a really rich history. In this one, you're just like, kind of like they feel like acquaintances.
Right.
But I'm sure
Well, they are.
now that there's a sequel, so.
Gotta make a sequel.
But there's talks to make a Lando standalone movie, and I did like Lando, but Lando to me has always been a character who's always kind of been a good side character. I don't know if he can hold his own. I'm sure Donald Glover can as an actor.
Will do well.
As an actor, he can for sure, 100%. But I'm like, Lando, I mean, what can you do with Lando? He has one little shtick to him, and that's about it.
Lando, and I don't know how this will transition in the books. Lando has some scenes in, like, he had a comic run close to around the time that Disney bought out Disney bought out Star Wars. He had a comic run that's in canon, and it was actually very, very interesting.
Yeah.
Like, and it was just Lando. It was very interesting. And part of the new Last Shot book, like, he takes up half the book. Like, half the book's him. And it's very, like, that part's interesting with Lando. So, him as a character can hold his own story. Movie, however, we'll have to see.
Yeah.
But for the most part, the character can hold his own story. He is interesting enough. He has got his own spiel of things enough to where he can hold his own.
Yeah.
I think if they did do a movie, I think it would be a little bit more well received. Honestly, I think if they did a Lando movie other than Solo, I think it would have been
Probably would have been better.
like Lando, a Star Wars story, would have been a lot cooler.
Yeah.
Than Solo.
Because there's not that much lore that you can mess up.
No, because I mean,
because you don't really know too much about Lando.
He's an entrepreneur and he's Han's friend.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's all, and that's all you need to know. And there's like you could do literally anything. If you wanted to figure out how he lost the Falcon, sure, but because that's really the only thing that you would have to explain, because it's the only thing that's like left in the air.
Well, and they explain so much in this movie.
That doesn't need to be explained.
The dice, they kept freaking showing them, like especially in the first 10 minutes.
I knew it was going to be a big deal when they kept showing it in Last Jedi, and they were like, this is Han's dice. I'm like, you never made it a big deal in the original trilogy, and you have a Solo movie in a couple months.
And in the Solo film, like, every time they showed, like, transition shot, they, like, showed his dice.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm going to kill someone.
Yeah. And, like, this still isn't a big deal in the original trilogy.
No, it's, they're just dice.
You know, like, what is it? Luke gives Leia the dice, and I'm like, you never acknowledge this.
Yeah.
In the original, like, it couldn't be anything else.
Yeah.
Whatever.
I don't know. I think after episode 9, depending on what the movie is after episode 9,
yes,
I might be done with Star Wars for a hot minute.
Mm-hmm.
Just because it's not something that I want ruined for me. Because I'm not a prequel lover, because I can understand episode 2 sucks.
Mm-hmm.
Episode 1, I have a small place in my heart for. Episode 3, I think is great.
Right.
I think you give me those 6 movies, those original 6,
Mm-hmm.
the first 3, and then the prequels, I'm fine. That's enough lore right there.
Mm-hmm.
Now, but I love Rogue One. But episode 7 is just episode 4. Episode 8 I hate, and Solo I hate.
Mm-hmm.
So I think after episode 9, that's how I am with Avengers: Infinity War Part 2. I think after Part 2, I'm just gonna be like, okay, I need a break.
Mm-hmm.
And a year off.
You know, a year off of these movies, which they're not going to give you.
No.
Because you take a year off, there's going to be 3 or 4 more.
Well, I mean, what am I gonna miss? More build up to who?
Galactus or who the next big villain for the next big Avengers movie. They're going to be.
I'll just come over to your house and watch them on DVD.
No, it'll be. That's the world we live in. And now they've set up these big cinematic universes, and there's really no way that they can end them.
Do you think after Avengers 4 that Marvel will go down? Like you'll start seeing. I mean, obviously I won't.
According to them, of course, they say no because everyone's like, oh well, I think the fatigue's gonna set in because I mean it's already set in for a lot of people, but I think that like after you end Avengers 4, that's gonna be it for some people. And they'll be like, oh, that's done. And they asked Marvel execs about that, and they were like, oh no, the things we have planned are gonna make these movies like they're gonna make Avengers 4 post movies are incredible, and you want to go to every single one. They have to say that.
Yeah.
Now, do I honestly think? I mean, it's just like the comics. Like, there's always a big crossover event that happens, and then they move into their stories again, and then there's a big crossover event again. Like, there's always. I mean, they've been doing these comics for years. You know what I mean? Decades.
Yeah.
And I have a feeling that's the movies are just going to be another medium for that.
Yeah.
You know, it's going to be just like the comics, and we're going to get them forever and ever until they stop going, which is apparently Disney's plan for Star Wars. Now, they're going to really have to step up their game moving forward because this Han Solo movie was the first one, and I hate saying this, the first one that actually felt like, oh, they're just doing this for money. Which, bad.
Disney doesn't care, dude.
Disney, but the thing is that I've always felt like they do because they genuinely, like they've done quality content for the most part. It's quality content, and this one was the first one that I was like, okay, this was unnecessary and I didn't need it.
Yeah, I get that.
Yeah, and it felt like
because everything else has been necessary, whether you like it or not. Like I don't like Black Panther, but it is kind of necessary.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, this one I was just kind of like...
Literally almost everything MCU was quote-unquote necessary.
Yeah.
For another movie, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And this one, I was just like, I don't think it added anything the way that Rogue One did.
No.
And, you know, Force Awakens and Last Jedi, love them or hate them, they continued the story whether or not you think it needed to be told. They did do things with the lore of Star Wars that brought the story forward for the most part, and Solo just didn't do that to me. Like,
no.
I watched Rogue One, or I watched the movies after Rogue One, and I get like it's like watching them completely differently, getting more context. I don't feel like if I watch Episode 4 and I see Han Solo,
you'll just be like, oh, it might even ruin it. Because you'll be like, oh, it's Han Solo. It's like, I know why he got his last name.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's like, hey, I'm Han Solo from the Millennium. Like, you stupid.
Yeah, you stupid little idiot. You're not real.
Your friend, you guys tussled in the mud and then showered together.
Yeah, that was weird.
That was weird.
I forgot about that shit, dude. That was weird.
Yeah, it was weird. So, I don't know. It's interesting, but yeah, I don't know. We can talk about Star Wars fatigue. We got a year and a half. I think this is good. I think this year and a half will be good for Star Wars because we don't get last Jedi. We don't get Episode 9 until December of 2019. Okay, so we've got a little bit to wait. Because, I mean, like, what, 5 months ago we were watching Last Jedi.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I hope if they are going to do this yearly basis, I hope it's yearly. I hope they don't do what Marvel's doing with, hey, Star Wars, we're going to do 3 Star Wars movies a year. Because MCU's doing 3 Marvel movies a year. You know what I mean? Which is fine if it's different characters. I guess, but if it's, I don't know, Star Wars, you know what I mean?
Star Wars, you gotta be careful.
Yeah, you gotta be careful.
The bigger fan base.
Yeah, much bigger fan base.
Well, and there's a lot more.
They will.
And they'll kill you.
They will kill you. Or they'll say they're gonna kill you. They'll do that a lot.
But Star Wars fans aren't like Marvel fans. Star Wars fans will, not go see movies.
They will boycott. I can see them doing that.
I know about 10 people who won't see Solo because of Last Jedi.
Really?
And I think they made a smart choice.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. That's why Solo is why I don't like Twitter reactions because Twitter was trying to sell you on this movie. It's like, it's a good summer film. And like Jurassic World 2, a lot of those things sound like the same thing that you heard with Solo.
Yep. I haven't seen anything about performances or anything. They're just saying.
Well, I mean, they're both good actors. Bryce Dallas Howard and Chris Pratt. They don't need. She looks amazing. I don't really like her with bangs though. Yeah. But I love her. Her dad though dropped a big old goose egg with Solo.
Big old goose egg.
Ron Howard I always think is super overrated.
Yeah. Do you think they'll bring him back for the sequel? Have him do the entire movie as opposed to.
He basically did this whole movie.
Well, yeah, but
he did 90% of this movie.
I'm talking without having to shoot the movie, like having to reshoot the movie and still make it within the time frame. You know what I mean?
I don't know.
Ron Howard. Actually, he's part of the production from day one.
I mean, I think they will, but I don't think it'll do much. I don't think it'll be better.
No, I'm not saying that.
Because I mean, I didn't see anything in this movie that like seemed like 2 different directors. Like in Justice League, there's certain scenes that was that. This all seemed like one giant Ron Howard film to me. Because, I mean, like I said, he did 90% of this movie. Yeah. So, I don't know.
It'll be interesting to see how Disney reacts to this, you know?
Yeah, I want to wait till this weekend ends and see more reviews. Jeremy hasn't posted a spoiler review yet. It's killing me.
No, I'm excited to see how Disney reacts. I'm excited to see how much money it makes.
Yeah.
You know, I want to see what happens. And I guarantee you we'll start getting some news come D23. I believe that's next month.
About a sequel?
Yeah, either a sequel
or an episode 9.
Another spinoff like Kenobi or Boba Fett, which would be great.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I gotta quit saying that. So.
I don't know. D23, I want Avengers 4 title. I don't see why they just don't announce it now.
They're waiting for everybody to see it 3 times.
Have you seen how much money that movie made?
That movie's making stupid amounts of money.
Deadpool 2, did it make a lot of money?
Deadpool 2 did. It was the second highest grossing R-rated release of all time.
What was the first? Deadpool 1?
Deadpool 1.
Okay, that's pretty good then.
Yeah, it did well. It did very well.
Deadpool 2 is good.
Deadpool 2 was good.
Daniel saw it. He liked it. I don't know why.
With Daniel.
Daniel didn't see it.
He didn't see it with us?
No. Idiot.
He saw Solo with us.
He saw Solo with us last night.
Yes. That was last night. I forgot about this movie.
It's been a long 24 hours for me.
God.
But
I hate saying that about a Star Wars movie.
I don't mind.
Whatever. So,
I'm the sociopath of the group. I don't mind it
for this week.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, and moving into this week, it's gonna be interesting. Let us know if you go see Solo, what you thought about it in the comments. Let us know. Did you love it? Did you hate it? What did you think of Maul? What did you think of the movie as a whole? You know what I mean?
Poof.
So, enjoy talking to you guys. Enjoy talking nerd. And until next time, keep talking nerd, guys.
Mm-hmm.
You guys are awesome. Thank you guys so much for what you do. Keep talking.
Adios, amigos.